What's going on, y'all? This your boy Cosmic Zell over here with my boy KP, also known as KP the Manager. We about to get into the story today. My boy been out here grinding for some years, man.
Really over 10.
Really putting in that work. So I just want to just let y'all know, get some insight on what everything he done been through on his journey.
For sure.
So really just like starting out, bro, like before we get into all the, promoting everything, all the accolades and everything, bro, I really just want to know, like, first of all, where are you from?
I'm originally born in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
What side?
South.
South?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
South side, baby.
Most
And
definitely.
then we relocated to the east side. Yeah.
From east side of Chicago.
Yeah, and then from east side. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what? That was probably like, elementary school, middle school.
Yeah. Elementary. You know what I'm saying?
Elementary.
You know what I mean? It was. My upbringing was kind of tricky, so it wasn't just like the normal. You know what I mean? All you live, 2-parent household, things like that. We was actually adopted. You know what I mean?
Got
so
you.
me and all my siblings, yeah. So we all split up in different parts of the
Most definitely. So these are all your blood relatives, and then y'all all got split up.
Same mom, same dad. 7 of us.
All
split
7 is blood, and then y'all got split up.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting because I don't know if you know, but also I'm adopted.
Oh, okay.
But I was
all right. Adoption gang.
Right. Oh yeah. So, but I was only raised with one of my blood relatives, and everybody else got sent to different families.
Yeah. Eventually, it ended up like that for us. Like we was all split up, and then it ended up being like me and one of my brothers.
Okay.
And then it ended up being like a younger brother and my youngest sister.
I got you.
And then it is, you know what I mean? And then, then my baby brother, he ended up being by himself. And you know what I mean? So
I got you. So who would you say you had the closer relationship with? Like, who would you ever spend the most time with?
My brother. My brother that's 1 year older than me.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So
Big KP.
KP.
Yeah. That's the big KP. Yeah. That's my brother.
If you know the KPs, then you know.
Yeah, we got the same. Yeah, my name, Kentrell, his name Kendall. So he actually had KP first.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he really don't know this. This probably gonna be his first time hearing something like this. But me basically wanting to be like him at the time. Basically, it kind of drove my hunger. You know what I mean? He was the man. You know what I'm saying? He was the man.
Sure.
So. And that's
he passed the torch to Lil Bro.
I took the torch.
Hey,
he was not passing it. He still ain't trying to get to me right now, but it is what it is. That's my brother. I love him. That's my baby.
Yeah,
for sure.
Most definitely, bro. So in the household, what was your motivation to be great, bro? What gave you the drive?
I really just I really just didn't really have nothing else for real. You know what I mean? I was not athletic. You know what I mean? I wasn't, at the time, I wasn't the best looking. I definitely, given our situation, I wasn't the, best dressed or nothing like that. So I just wanted to be better for real. You know what I mean? I just really wanted it to be better for real. So, I just kept going. You know what I mean?
So as far as the music industry, what was your first introduction to getting involved with the music industry?
My first introduction was probably I was throwing events. So
right.
Yeah, are you talking about management or
no? Just really before you get into the management.
Oh yeah, well really to be honest, I was a rapper, man. You know what I mean? I was a rapper first, and I was raw. You know what I mean? But
I never heard any of your songs, bro.
Yeah, and I can't find them nowhere.
That's crazy.
I can't find them nowhere.
Was you dropping?
Yeah.
I was dropping. This MySpace days.
Yeah, man. I was dropping.
Yeah.
I probably dropped 4 songs. I probably got 4 songs out there.
If
you was my producer or you was my engineer and you somehow some way see this, man, get those songs to me, man.
We gotta hit it. That's a lot of most people in the music industry. They always started off a rapper first. They seen that wasn't the lane that they wanted to go in to get into something.
The thing about it, I really wanted to do shows, and I wasn't getting no shows. I wasn't a big rapper. You know what I mean? I just really wanted to do shows. So, I just basically came up with the idea. I'm like, man, I can start having these parties
for sure,
and then I can perform at my own parties, and it's like a double-edged sword because now I can perform, which is a show.
Exactly.
And I'm getting the money from the people coming in, so it's like I'm getting paid for a show. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So now,
you know what I mean? You had the vision for it.
Yeah. Because I was rapping, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew I rapped at schools. And, you know what I mean? But I wasn't dropping like no albums.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
And I was a kid, man. So.
Yeah.
But that was my introduction for sure.
Yeah, so like you was like a popular kid in high school?
Yeah. Only because like I talk. Right. You know what I mean? Like black people, white people, Indian people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
you just a people person.
Yeah, the popular niggas, the little boy that's eating by himself. Like you know what I mean? Like I ain't mind like talking to him. You know what I'm saying? So I say I was popular. I was pretty popular.
Yeah, so that definitely helped with like your networking skills. Like
exactly.
All right, so let's
gift of gab is what they call it.
Gift of gab.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And once you got like a teacher, so let's just say figure I'm 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. You got a teacher that's 30, 40, 50 years old, literally saying you really have a gift of gab. Like this is their career. Right. Seeing that in me, and I'm a teenager. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, I really do for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's really just destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, most definitely. So, your first party, bro. When did you throw your first party?
I think I threw my first party in like 2009 at the Prisco Center.
At the Prisco.
Yeah. I had and that was around the time that the whole pop it movement, like pop it off, you know what I mean? Like
crank that
movement. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Crank that. So, Soulja Boy was out. Soulja Boy was an idol for me at the time. You know what I mean?
Hottest thing smoking.
Yeah. But I ain't had no money to get no Soulja Boy.
Right. Yeah.
But the next best thing was the niggas who did Crank That Batman. They just so happened to be from Illinois.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they from Carbondale. Yeah, so I reached out to them.
Crazy.
They like, we'll drive on up. Give us this. I don't know, $1,500. We gave $1,500.
Yeah, they probably like your age around this time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so man, I shot him that $1,500, brought him out here
for sure,
and the rest was history.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's crazy.
That's a fact.
And it's crazy because I was actually at that party.
Yeah.
I was there.
It was a little fight. It was a fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy, man. But,
Nah, it was a good turnout, though.
It was a good turnout.
It was a good turnout. That's legendary for a first party.
Yeah.
To be able to say...
Yeah, I had my sister. She had some link. You know what I mean? She had some link, and... she went and got like some snacks and, you know what I mean? Just normal hot dogs, candy, water, off the link. $100, man. She probably made like $1,500, $2,000 off of that.
Wow.
That's how many people
y'all made that back.
Yeah, she made that. You keep that. I didn't get $1 of that. Wow. You know what I mean?
That's 100.
Yeah, I got the dough. I'm a kid.
For sure.
We got 700 people here, 500. You know what I mean? I don't know how they got the money to come to the party, but they came. Thank y'all. Everybody that came, thank y'all.
Was you still in contact with them like after the party, or how'd that go?
Who?
Pop It Out Boys.
Yeah, for a little bit, and then one of them tragically passed away in a car crash.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I forgot the year, but it was like not long after that. You know what I mean? So it's like yeah. One of them doing good now. You know, and one of them is a singer, full blown singer.
Yeah.
And he doing as far as I can see, he doing his thing, working, writing with big artists and things like that. And then the other one, Lil Action, rest in peace, Lil Action.
Yeah.
They definitely came out and did me a solid for sure.
For sure. That's what's up, bro. What's up, bro. So with the great turnout of that first party, what was your next move?
I was just going around, booking different venues, but at first it was like, how some of the hotels just have like little ballrooms?
Yeah.
I used to, just go, reach out to different hotels in my area. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have a party, this and that. I used to lie. I'm going to have 55 to 100 people.
Right.
Man, they're like, all right, give us.
The whole time you pack it out.
Yeah, I'll pack it out. Police get called, shut it down, and I do it another month at another hotel.
Yeah.
Then I started going to different cities, getting in at their hotels. And I'm like, man, these people starting to travel. Then I started reaching out to the clubs. And then I started,
getting to the clubs.
To like the music venues. Like, this is what this venue does.
Right.
They, they hold, You know what I mean?
For sure.
Large crowds.
So
like party goers.
Yeah, so these were just parties, or was you still getting like big acts to come through?
Yeah, I'll still be doing like little shit. Like back in the day, it was like a TV show that was real popular called Bad Girls Club.
Right.
Yeah, like at the time, it's like it's not as big, so I don't want y'all to exaggerate. But like it was like a modern day baddies. You know what I mean?
Right.
I booked a couple girls from the Bad Girls Club, come through, sold out. Joliet, sold out. 1,000 people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, 500. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. Like,
nah, yeah, you done packed Joliet out a few times.
Man, I done did Joliet, I done did Bolingbrook, I done did the west side of Chicago, I done did Aurora, I done did Plainfield, I done did,
Did it. Yeah.
I done did it.
For sure.
That's a fact.
So, from that, how did you transition into managing artists?
You know, I just networking for real on social media. You know what I mean? Like I was just
because you already had the good reputation for having
exactly handling business.
Yeah.
You know, then I started reaching out. You know, I actually reached out to a dude who goes by the name of Paris Bueller. He made
dropped that Bueller.
Yeah, Bueller. He on all Lil Durk, Chief Keef. You know, Lil Durk's on L's Up for them heads. That was like probably his biggest song. Or This Ain't What You Want. This ain't what you want. Yeah, he did that. So I reached out to him, you know, and it was like, yo, you know, I'm trying to get in the game. This, that, and the third. You know what I mean? Chopping it up with him, social media. You know, he was a producer. So, you know, I would always go in my situations like, it don't really matter what you need. Let me show you what I can bring to the table. So I'm like, yo, let me help you sell some of these beats and this and that. And, you know, and I used to reach out to different people. I was, you know, getting them beats sold and booking studio sessions and things like that to the point where he was like, you and me, I'm a manager, you know what I mean? And from there led to, you know, the next artist. And then from there led to the next artist. And then, you know,
that's what's up. So like starting from like ground zero, like what does he have you do? Like
I said, book studio sessions, reach out to other upcoming artists, you know what I mean? That's actually how I got Montana 300.
Okay.
I DM'd him and was like, yo, he just had drop Chirac, probably 1 million views.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 1 million views. I reach out to him like, hey, I work with so-and-so.
Right. So after Paris, it was Montana?
Are
we jumping?
Yeah. I jumped a little bit after Paris. It was Dlow.
Dlow.
Let's
Okay. From Paris, so you putting in that groundwork with Paris, and then you stumble upon Dlow. This one, the bopping era was going crazy.
Yeah, so I do another party.
Do a party.
Yeah. I book Kemo.
Okay.
I book him. This and third. You know, this story never been told. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, if the shoe fit, they gotta wear it. Yeah. But I booked Kemo. You know, I end up getting a message from Dlow. He's like, yo, are you the promoter that's, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's having this event on June 17th? I'm like, yeah, that's me. Why, what's up? He like, I see you booked Kemo. I don't know if he told you, but we kind of like a group right now. I think he trying to, you know, basically like do the show without me and just keep the bread. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, that's fucked up, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, so I proceeded to do the show with Kemo. Did what I did. Brought the people out, made the money. But I went back on social media, found Dlow, and said, yo, like, what's your, you know, payment method or whatever. I'm finna send you some bread. I'm finna send you what you would have made just off GP. He ain't do the show. He ain't come. He never expected that message. Yeah. That was just me being like a solid nigga. Yeah. I went and found him after the show was done, maybe a week later. And we're like, I don't know, probably 500, 200. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And sent him that bread and was like, this is what you would have made. And he was like, that's crazy. And then that's, you know, I pulled up on him. I'm like, you know, where you from? So out west. You know, I'm like, man, let me pull up on you. You know, this, that, and third, come chop it up with you. I pull up, chop it up with him. Yeah. And, you know, he was just going through a tough, you know, situation. So, you know what I mean? He really came from the bottom as well. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I told him straight like this. I'm like, you know, I'm not no manager, like, or no manager that got years and years of experience, but I do know the business a little bit, and I can prevent what happened to you from happening to you again. And he was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And, you know, we did it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So,
that's crazy.
So, being a solid nigga, too, you know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Because I could have just did the show. That ain't, they personal business.
That didn't have anything
nothing to do with me. I did my part.
Yeah.
I booked them, contract, paid them, got him out here, paid him the back end. He went home safe. I still took some of my bread and went and paid other dudes. I'm like, man, that's fucked up, and I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah. So you built a whole other relationship with him just off, you know, just looking out.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, but that's really what the whole business is about. It's like, you know, just building them solid relationships and just doing.
And it's hard too though, just because it's like my family members will tell you this, like it's hard because in this business he's not really solid for real. That's one of my biggest regrets in this music shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to change who I am, but niggas not solid, man. They'll use you up to get what they need or where they need to go.
And then they get to that level.
And then it's like they'll leave me out. You know what I mean? Like for real, they'll leave me out. You know what I mean? Like, man,
so you feel like that's like one of the toughest challenges that you've been faced.
Yeah. Let's just get spicy a little bit. You know what I mean? So
we talk about
so now I'm on, you know, I'm basically taking on this role of a manager. You know what I mean? He not signed to me. You know, we still talking about Dlow. He not signed to me and nothing like that, but I'm taking on this role of a manager. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm trying to get people to pay him, put him in videos, $50, $100. You give them something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I end up talking to, you know, a couple of my people that I've met through like Beulah and just networking myself. And I'm like, yo, like, what can I do with this? You know what I mean? And they was like, man, somebody told me straight like this. You need to get him on TV. I'm like, TV?
Right.
How am I going to get him on TV?
That sounds like, you know.
How am I going to get him on TV? I'm brand new in the game, no relationship, no nothing. I'm a teenager. How am I going to get him on TV? But I don't know why my brain be doing this sometimes. So I just get the research and the TV shows that's in Chicago. I see one. It's called Steve Harvey. Get the number. It's at the NBC building, so. I call him. Steve Harvey show. I'm like, yo, this KP the manager. I got a rapper that want to come and perform on the show. Straight like this. It was like, rapper perform. Steve Harvey? No, we don't do that at the Steve Harvey show. Click.
Yeah.
We don't do that. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Then, you know, we end up working with Dlow. You know, he ended up doing what he doing. Now he picking up traction. Like, Dlow was putting in work himself as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I made the nigga. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
sure.
He was doing what he was doing too. You know what I mean? But like, niggas know. You know what I'm saying?
On
like,
the back end,
and I got receipts. Anything that I'm ever say, if I ever say anything about any topic, I got the receipts.
Oh no, most definitely.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, he ended up doing what he doing. You know, Dlow Shuffle ended up coming about. This, that, and the third is going viral. You know, still no contract though. Mm-hmm. I don't know, a couple months later, I call Steve Harvey again. But I got a different pitch to him. I say, yo, it's a song, it's a kid that's going viral. You know, he's from poverty. The song is going viral. We got, I don't know, X amount of thousands of views. You know, he's pushing positivity. You know, it's bringing the kids together. And this, that, and the third. It's this, that. Yeah. You got this, that, and the third. And they was like, leave a contact number.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
It's kind of starting to make sense.
Yeah, I'm like, so. Nah, I got, you know, chilling. I get a call back 30 minutes later. Steve loves it.
Just like that.
I don't got no contract with the man, no nothing. We still in OG career, everything. When I called him, you know, I just got you on the Steve Harvey show.
Blew his mind.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna call lady back, so. Like, I'm geeked. So I hang up, you know what I mean? Call her back and was like, you know, when? She's like, be here tomorrow.
Straight like that.
Call him, told him, and I'm saying all this to say, I don't want to get off topic. I'm saying all this to say, this is just how the game works. So now, remember I told you the story about Kemo.
Yeah.
I told you a story about Kemo and him and what I did for Dlow.
Yeah, that happened in the beginning.
In the beginning. Fast forward, we pull up to the Steve Harvey show. Mm-hmm. Is me, it's Kemo, it's Dlow. So they done reconnected somewhere. And there's 2 more people who I don't necessarily care to name. You know what I mean?
I got you.
But peep this. Only 3 people can go in the back, like in a fitting dressing room. Mm-hmm. And the other people gotta sit in the crowd. They asked Dlow, who you want to go in the back?
Who you want, yeah.
And who you want to go sit in the crowd? And he picked Dude, Kemo, and put KP in the crowd. And I set it up 100% by myself. Yeah. I didn't get no help. I didn't get no money from it. No nothing. He chose me to go in the crowd. You know, it's like how? You know what I'm saying? Like how? Like how? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Like, niggas
that was all your workings.
That's 100% my working. Like I said, I have receipts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know I'm smarter than that. You know, I got the contract to get them there signed. I got, you know what I mean? But this also how I work. So now, I'm in the crowd, you know, this and third cheering, like a fan, homie, brother, whatever.
Yeah, you like, I'm in the building. Like,
yeah, I'm in the building. You know what I mean? And I know what's what. I know what's what.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm tweaking though. I got the lady contact number.
Like, hold on a sec. Yeah.
So you know me, I call so. Mimi, so. She's like, yeah, what's up, Ken? Yeah, I make the white people call me Ken. What's up, Ken?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I got you.
I'm like, yeah, I sent them my artist back there with so and so. You guys said it was only someone, you know, X amount of, you know, people that can go back there.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I got you. You can go back there.
Just like that.
Just like that. So now I walk back there. Now everybody like, oh, Country, what's up? Oh, man, we were just gonna come check on you.
You left me out in the crowd.
You hear me? You hear me, dog? Yeah. Man, niggas don't be right, bro, for real. But, man, like, you know, it is what it is.
All right, so after that happened, so they get their big moment, they go on the show. Then after that, like, how was y'all relationship? Cause like
after that, he's going viral. The news picked him up. Like, the news picked it up, and he's everywhere. Millions and millions and millions of views. The labels start calling. I don't know if he did this prior to meeting me, or if he did it while with me, or whatever. But he's now signed to some upcoming label in Chicago, which are the dudes that I said I didn't care to mention.
Right.
And now he hot. He got a song that's getting millions of views. He was on the Steve Harvey show. These niggas got money. They in the streets. I'm really a kid for real. They taking them shopping, doing this, you know, probably buying them some little shit and
right.
And basically pulled him away from me. He goes on and signed a deal, and still to this day, I ain't even get a thank you. To this day.
So y'all just lost contact at that point.
Yeah, I still see him.
You in the mix. You still in the mix. So
Yeah. But you gotta know that I know.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't no bad like nigga. Like with me, it's like I don't want to do nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? Or even attempt to do nothing to you or nothing like that. But as long as you know, like nigga, I'm solid. But that gets you nowhere for real. You know what I mean? Like that don't get you nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like this.
At that point, you just let God deal with it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you keep moving.
You know,
you know what you know.
Yeah, because after that, so like the gap between like managing him and then you go, who's the next artist?
Paris Bueller.
So so
it was Dlow. Remember, we had to go back. It was Dlow. It was Dlow. It was Parties, Dlow, Paris Bueller, Montana 300.
I got you.
Yeah.
Also, so Bueller was second.
Yeah, Bueller was second. But I jumped in it, you know, because I said that's how I met Montana. And he was like, let's go back.
I got you.
But Bueller was definitely second.
Okay. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So yeah, you and Bueller, y'all still got a solid relationship?
We was solid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still solid.
Right.
I think he's still solid. But, you know, I was working with him, doing what we doing. Man, this shit can get deep, man. I can sit here and tell you the game for real. This the game. And anybody that's really in the music business that's going to see this is going to know, like, that's how this shit work. That's crazy. Like, that sound like what these niggas be doing. But everything with Bueller surprised me. You know, he was a little older than me. He was doing what he was doing. I came along, I'm doing, I'm doing little shit, selling beats and this and that, just little shit. Being a good assistant manager, whatever. Like, I'm just trying to get in the game for real. You producing for one of the biggest artists right now. Like, I'm just trying to be around and be an asset for real. You know what I mean?
Really just soaking in a lot of games.
Yeah, like I said, I end up reaching out. We can go back to this. I end up reaching out to Montana. I reach out to Montana to try to sell them some beats. And
okay, and so this is all while you with Bueller.
Yeah. Because now I'm trying to sell beats to Montana. Because now he got a song that's popping.
Because you said you heard the Chirac.
Yeah.
And then from there.
And then I DM'd him. I was like, yo, excuse me, I got a producer that I work with, or work for, Paris Bueller. He did this for Dirt, this for Keith. You know what I mean? Like, man, I want to get you some beats. Mm-hmm. He's like, all right, that's a bet, so-and-so. Exchange contacts, so-and-so. But it was something that Montana didn't do at the time that I seen like Bueller do that made me know that he didn't really have management. He didn't ask for like no split sheets, you know what I mean, and like no producer agreement.
Right, he just send them.
He was like, yeah, just send them. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, all right, bet, whatever. He ain't asked for a certain format, things like that. So it's like, that told me he ain't really had no manager for real. You know what I mean? So, I end up linking with Montana in the city. We got him the beats, Now I'm talking to Montana, finding more out about his situation. He up and coming. He don't got no manager. Yeah. I'm kicking it with bro. You know what I mean? Like doing, trying to basically like manage him.
Pretty much, yeah. Just building that relationship.
The nigga Bueller ended up sending me a text and said something like, and it's crazy. He ended up sending me a text like, I see you've been around so-and-so. Mm-hmm. Remember this, you either my assistant first and then his manager, or let me know what changes I need to make. I said, make the changes.
He tried to give you an ultimatum and you was just like, hey.
You feel me? Like, how you gonna do that? I'm not affecting your business at all.
Right.
Like, I'm still doing business for you. I'm still working with you and for you. Mm-hmm. Also try to get another business venture so I can keep myself busy, potentially make another connection with this. Yeah. He potentially rise to these heights, put you in tune with this. Now he's a big art. Like, it could have worked like that. You literally sent me that message and I'm like, that's weird. Right. But that's type of shit niggas be on, man. I don't know if it be the egos. I don't know if it's just, they just not raised like that. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So, I had to let that situation go.
Right.
For sure.
Just that. So from there, so you still keep the relationship with Montana?
Yes.
Okay.
And, now I'm pulling up on Montana, sliding on him, talking to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, just putting together, little shit for him. You know what I mean? Like, I think we did like a situation where it's like, I did like a little trial run. Earlier in the interview I said it's always kind of like, I look at all the situations, like what can I bring to the table? So I don't think Montana was making no money from music at that time. And then I came up with kind of like a dope idea for, me to get like some features and shit sold for him and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he only had one notable song, which was the Chirac remix.
Chirac, yeah.
I got a couple shows booked. I don't know, I'm going to say anywhere from 10 to 20,000 is what I made him without receiving no payment. And from there, he was like, for one, you holding this money. For two, you helping me make this money.
Right.
For three, that was a good idea. You kind of young, but I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? And you my manager.
Right, so you really have to put in that work and prove yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't like nobody. Let me just be clear. Nobody just gave me an easy nothing. Like I just tweeted this a couple days ago. I had some people on my journey that helped me in different situations. You know what I mean? I'm not one of them people that's like, oh, I did this. Nobody gave me nothing, no help, this, that, and the third. But like, nobody gave me an easy ride. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely wasn't.
It was not no easy ride. Nobody was like, oh, yeah, KP, this, that. Like, I had to put in work, you know what I mean? I lost real sleep. I lost time. I spent money. You know what I mean? Like, researching. Like,
a lot of sacrifices.
A lot of sacrifices. I don't know one manager, and I'm sure they're out there, but I don't know one that took more than me.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I kind of want to jump a little bit. So, what would you say, how did you balance out, family life and, and managing? during around this time? Because you know you like
it was no nothing. It was no balancing and nothing. It was straight music shit. And that's what I wanted, you know, for any artist that I ever work with in the future, any artist that I worked with in the past that may see this, I want y'all to know, like, I sacrificed that time for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I sacrificed that time for y'all for real. You know what I mean? So it was not let me spend time over here and this and that and this, you know what I mean? Like, no, like everything was music shit. You know what I mean? Like, for real, like straight up. So, yeah. I put y'all needs before mine's. You know what I mean? Like,
so how did that affect, like, you know, relationship with like close friends and family?
It was kind of tricky for real. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never really want to do shit for real. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to just get ahead for real. Yeah. And then I just always, you know, like I said, I go into these situations thinking, what can I bring to the table, right? And then I put myself in a situation where it's like I'm having to prove something. So I never really get a day to like chill for real. It'll always be in the back of my mind. He could fire you like that. She could fire you right now. Yeah. And there's just be nothing you can do about it. You ain't got no contract. You done already made this person X amount of dollars. Like, they can leave. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's, you know, this is how I go, man. That's the game. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Definitely. That's for sure the game.
For sure. So Montana makes you his official manager. Yeah. And then so what's the difference between like in the beginning versus like, you know, it's when it's starting to get serious and you prove yourself?
With Montana or with any artist?
Montana.
At first it was just like doing little features.
Yeah.
And like just doing little shit. You know what I mean? And when it got serious, it was like labels, calling, flying flights, tours, sprinters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so y'all done pretty much been through it all together.
Yeah, man. Did we? Man. Yeah, we done been through it all, man. I put real blood, sweat, and tears into FG and Montana 300.
For sure. And y'all can't see this on the camera, but he got FGE tatted right here.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's really
self-explanatory.
Yeah, I put real blood, sweat, and tears into this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember one time I had something with Montana that started off as a joke, you know what I mean? And then it led to some shit being said for real, you know what I mean? That like, nigga, I was so mad, nigga. Like, nigga, I had tears coming down my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I say blood, sweat, and tears, you know what I mean? Like, it's been times like, you know what I mean? Like, that I really put my blood, sweat, and tears into these artists. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because I'm that passionate and it's like, I love these people that much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm putting these people before myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know.
You really building like a real
family. That's something that he built. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He don't got, respectfully, he don't got KP talent on him.
No, right.
I got this talent on me. Like, nigga, that's real love, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I took pay cuts for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I spent a lot of time away from this shit. A lot of time away from my babies. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time away from, you know what I'm saying? Like, family, my loved ones, everybody that I love. You know what I mean? My friends. You know what I mean? Like, man, yeah, I really put that work in for real.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Straight up.
Most definitely. So, Montana, who else you got on your resume?
On my resume, I did a little work with Anne Marie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you just had the show with Anne Marie. That was last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last, like the summertime?
Yeah.
Like last summer. So, yeah, explain like, you know, okay, so you transitioned from a rapper to an R&B singer. So, like, was that like a conscious decision where it's like, oh, I'm not trying to deal with the rap no more? Or was that just like...
No, because I was still dealing with rap.
Okay.
And you know, I was still dealing with rap, but really, Anne Marie, it was just like, she was coming up, she was talented, you know what I mean? And it was like, you know, I was just doing what I could for her, you know what I mean? I didn't have, you know, all the relationships, all the connects, and this, that, and the third. Yeah. So, you know, like, but the little label relationships that I did have, I'll try to put them on her, you know what I mean? Like, if it's an A&R that I'm talking to because I didn't met with them because they wanted to sign Montana or this, that, and the third, like, I'll be like, man, Anne Marie next up Chicago. Anne Marie next up Chicago. You know, just doing little shit like trying to find cameramans. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Just doing little tedious management shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I responsible for her career for sure. You know what I mean? Like, he was just doing like little management shit for real, you know? And, you know, it just didn't work out at the time. You know what I mean? So, you know, we kind of lost contact for a little bit. And then, you know, we reconnected, you know what I mean? She probably a little mad at me, you know what I mean, for something behind the scenes. Like, I'm a little mad at you too, but it's all love, you know what I mean? Like, it's love, and you know, when we come together, you know, she show love. That's one thing she definitely show love, and she has showed me a lot of love that a lot of these rap niggas have not shown me. So, you know, that is what it is, though.
Mm-hmm. So how do you go about finding talent? Like, you just scrolling on social media?
Back in the day, not meaning to cut you off. Back in the day, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Now it kind of just come to me for real.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, for example, like you doing this, but you're also a dope videographer. So you might send me somebody. This your cousin.
Yeah.
This somebody you just shot. This somebody that you met here. This somebody that you believe in. You know, it kind of just comes to me for real. You know what I mean? People would send me DMs. You know, like my sister, you know what I mean? JP, she always just shoot me, you know what I mean? Messages like, this artist, that artist, this artist, that artist. Like, and she one of the few people that always do that. My little brother, he a barber. But, you know, niggas know that this has been my dream. He'll shoot me an artist. He'll be like, look at this artist.
Like, look, he up next.
Yeah, or he hard. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, they don't know how much I appreciate that. Right. Because I'll take it from there.
Yeah. So,
you know what I mean?
Right. So you got that aspect of it. And so then you meet these people. Yeah. So what are you using to like discern whether you feel like they even a good fit?
Mindset. Yeah, I look at their mindset.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of niggas don't want this rap shit for real. A lot of niggas don't know. Man, you gotta put a lot of time in this shit. You gotta put a lot of sacrifice in this shit. You gotta spend a lot of money in this shit. Niggas gonna try to fuck you. Niggas gonna try to get over on you. Niggas gonna try to scam you. Niggas gonna try to use you and abuse you. Like, niggas don't want this rap shit. And it's no guaranteed return on your investment.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? You can invest $100,000 into yourself, and it's no guarantee that you're gonna get that back from this rap shit. So knowing that, you gotta believe in yourself that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, let's just say it wasn't a rap. You know, let's just say rap wasn't a career. But I said, yo, would you lose sleep for this job? Would you lose sleep? Would you lose friends? Would you, get played? Would you get scammed? Would you spend $100,000 on it? Would you do all these things with no guarantee to get nothing? 99% of people be like, fuck no. Hell no. Why would I do that? That's stupid. Yeah, that's exactly what rappers do. Like, upcoming artists, like, I got artists that's, you know, on the come up. You got the Mike T's, you got the TNFD Breeze. Like, you got artists that's doing that. You know what I mean? Like, Angel, like, you got artists on the come up that's doing that. And that's what it take for real. And I feel like once I get that you don't get that concept, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of good on you for real.
Right. How do you balance out like managing multiple artists at once? Like, what's the most artists you managed at one time?
2. Yeah, but I was developing multiple artists at the time, so I probably managed 2, and then I developed 2. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, and those 2 artists was Montana 300 and CDot Honcho.
Okay. Yeah. We gonna get into that, but what I want to talk about is artist development, because like most upcoming artists, they just jump in the studio. Sometimes they got their guys with them. A lot of them,
they do that.
Like, that's hard. They're not gonna really tell them like what's what.
They do that.
So like, how do you define artist development?
Like, how do I define it?
Yeah, like what exactly is that? Like somebody that has no clue what that even means.
Exactly. Well, basically, artist development is just exactly, you know, what it sounds like. Like, let's just say you take real estate for an example, development, or mechanic development. Like, you're basically putting all the missing pieces together. You see what I'm saying? So right now you have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're building a house, right? You got the idea, you got the architect. You know what I mean? Like, this is the idea, but when you look at the land, you got nothing. You know, they got to develop the house. You know, they got to find some people to do the ground. They got to do the doors, do the walls, installation, the electricity. that's exactly what artist development is. Like, okay, right now you need to understand that you have nothing but talent. And some people don't even got that. But that's all you got though. You don't got nothing but talent for real. You know what I mean? So you have to develop that. You gotta research. You gotta reach out. You gotta pay people to do certain things. You know, whether it be running ads or, you know, sometimes people pay publicists or, you know, you gotta pay producers to, you know, get in the studio and the right engineers and videographer and merch people, and some people gotta pay artists for features and this, you know, all those things are like developing, you know what I mean? Like I said, running the ads, getting with the curators, getting on some of these playlists, opening up at some of these shows, all that is developing. Right. So, you know, that's I do that as well. You know, I might find an artist that needs development, and we
really just building up an artist from ground zero. You know?
That's it.
We just turning them into
everything you can think of, because as of right now you have nothing. You talented, but that's not the game. It's not back in the day. Back in the day, when a nigga like R. Kelly, with the voice he had, he could just walk in the studio and start singing, and Clive Davis would be like, we want that kid. Now, it's not that. Mm-hmm. You gotta have shit going on. Labels are looking at y'all, are like, they're looking at artists as like, you know, like assets for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
how can I sell you?
Yeah, how can I sell you to make us more money?
Yeah.
And if we can't sell you, then you ain't shit. That's why your numbers gotta be up for real. It's a numbers game. That's just what it is.
That's all it is.
A lot of people don't like hearing that, or they don't like talking that, or they don't want to talk about money and shit like that. Like, that's the game. Get out the game.
Yeah, because if you don't like social media, if you don't like being like showing yourself,
yeah, I be seeing artists like, I ain't really big on TikTok, or I'm not big on content and this and the third. It's like, well, that's what they look for. So if you gotta just be willing to say, I'm doing this for a hobby.
Yeah,
they just say that. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is.
So, yeah, how was it managing CDot Honcho?
Cool as hell, man. Chill as hell, man. He just chill. All he wanted to do at that time was smoke and make music. You know what I mean? And make money, really. You know what I mean?
And what year was this? So we can get like a
maybe 2017, 2018, maybe 2019, I believe, or something like that. Maybe 2016. Like, it was like a 2-3 year span. You know what I mean? Or, you know, we had like a 2-3 year run.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And that situation was weird. You know what I mean? I ain't got no story about, like, you know, how that ended, you know, but the thing about it, what I think it was at that time, for like, I don't know, I'm gonna say a couple weeks, he just stopped like answering my calls or something. We ain't get into like no argument or nothing, you know what I mean, or nothing. So I'm thinking, this is me thinking, because we still, and I just talked to him last week. Right. You know, we just made a money move last week, literally. You know what I mean? And I never brought this up. Like, we never talked about this. It's like, he just like didn't answer the phone for like maybe like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was frustrated with his career. He probably had some personal shit going on. He had a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean? He took care of some people. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I seen him post like randomly. Just so imagine not talking to me, or imagine we talking every day, normal, trying to do this, trying to figure this out, just coming up with ideas or whatever the case may be. Then you don't hit me back for like a week or two. I'm calling, I'm texting, yo, I'm calling, I'm texting. And then I get on social media one day and people tagging me going crazy. Can't be the manager. I'm like, damn, I'm getting followers. You know what I mean? DMs. Yeah. And it said, need new management. Like, damn. Man, that shit, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just what it was. And we never talked about why. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe he felt like I said something or I did something, or maybe he felt like I couldn't do something that he needed to get done.
Yeah, but y'all just never spoke about it.
We never spoke about it, you know what I mean? And that was for real, that kind of hurt a nigga. Only because that's like, he a grown man. And he got his niggas, he got his family, they love him. He gonna protect himself, he gonna do something. But I really was like a fan of CDot and was like, this my little brother. My little brother, one of my other little brothers who don't really like no nigga shit. put me on to see like, man, this my favorite rapper, man. I'm like, man, I don't even understand what this motherfucker is saying, man. But let me go listen. And next thing you know, I'm hearing him and he talking, and then I reach out to him. I'm like, man, I never had one argument with CDot. So that's why that hurt me. I never had one argument with CDot. We can disagree all day. We just didn't argue. We don't argue.
Right.
So when you said need new management, and then people was tagging me, it was one motherfucker, you know what I mean? He know about this too. It was one motherfucker that ended up leaving a comment that rubbed me the wrong way. It was a motherfucker that was around that like I used to, I vouch for. I used to put money in his pocket outside of this situation. You see what I'm saying? Like, and he said, left a comment or something like, you must have fired KP, or somebody said, you must have fired KP, or what happened to KP, or you fired KP or something. You must have fired KP, the manager. And then this dude specifically left a comment under that and said, about time. In my mind, I'm like, I put real. This not CDot that said this. Somebody else that's around. Yeah. Say about time. I'm like, about time. Nigga, I never got into it with you. We never argued or nothing. I put money in your pocket from this situation and the other situations outside of. I put money in your pocket that this artist don't even know about. What do you mean about time? Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? And I felt like at the very least. With Lil Bro, cause that's still like my little bro. See that? Like all he had to do was like, this not working out for this reason. I feel like I can do this, that, and the third. You doing too much, you got too much on your plate, or you're not doing enough, whatever. And I'd have respected it, and you know what I mean? Like, so to just not say nothing was just like, damn.
So with that situation, and even not just with him, but just like in general, do you ever just like sit back and think like, what can I be doing more as a manager?
I can say that. I always would think that. But the thing about it is, it ain't really too many people that's outworking me for real. So it ain't really, if it's something that I'm not doing for you as a manager, it's because it's physically out my reach right now. And notice, keyword, I said right now. Period. For example, let's just say you was an artist. And you was like, yo, KP, I need you to manage me. And I'm like, I bet. And you like, I want to perform at Rolling Loud when they come to Chicago June 7th. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like shit like that.
You want to put it together.
Yeah, but that's physically out my reach right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my calls, do my research, this, that, and the third. It's politics and this shit. You can't just go get on Rolling Loud tomorrow. Period. Look at booking agencies like Live Nation. They booked the biggest artists in the world. Chris Brown, Drake. Just because you got this going on, you think that I can just get you a Live Nation right now? And if I can't, I'm a bad manager?
Nah, you can't just write you off as a bad manager.
You see what I'm saying? It's protocol that gotta happen.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So like, let's just say you were saying that. And I'm not saying no artist that I ever worked with did this. But let's just say you was a rapper and you got 3 videos and one video got 1 million views, the other one got 500,000, and the other one got another 1 million. But at this point, you got ego. You don't know that. A lot of y'all artists don't know that, but that ain't nothing but ego.
Yeah, the artist ego, that's a very real thing.
A lot of art, and I never heard nobody say this ever from no level. On no level. If y'all know, I'm talking about from the Drakes to the Lords of the Lord. I never heard no artist say, I apologize, that was my ego. That wasn't really me. Never. To no manager, to no cameraman, to no producer, to no label, to no mama. Like, damn, that was my ego. That wasn't really me. That was my pride for real.
It ain't never.
You know what I mean? But
ain't no my bads, no nothing.
Nothing. But specifically my egos. Because I done heard people say my bad. But that's my mistake. I read it wrong.
Yeah.
I typed too fast. I did this. I did that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I slipped. I've heard that. But like, it was my ego. My ego was clouding my judgment. You know what I mean? So, but that's what I mean. Like, you might have more relationships than me, but you're not outworking me. Like, just because Zell want to get signed because you think you hard, you want to get signed to Atlantic Records by the end of the summer. We can put the work in, and I'm going to put you on the right path. I promise. But if you're not signed to Atlantic by the end of the summer, did we fail?
Nah, because we still working towards it.
Come on now. Like, come on now.
Like,
come on now. Just because you got 3 million views, like, you think, like, come on now, this shit, that's not how this shit work for real. And then you'll be like, subconsciously, they have to compare themselves to other artists. You know what I mean? Like, I done had people like, yo, I want to do this, that, and the third. Like, Chance the Rapper did it, and he independent. It's like,
they start comparing.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm like, in my mind, though, I'm like, you don't even really know the business. If you think Chance the Rapper is independent, you don't really know the business for real. And, but you're comparing, I heard Kevin Gates say this one time, you're comparing your real life to someone's highlight reel. Yeah. You know what I mean? You really think Chance the Rapper don't got no deal, no partnerships with nothing, just with no one? And he does. But look at the leverage he had. Your 3 million views compared to his... You know what I mean? Chance the Rapper been selling fucking CDs since fucking 2000 and fucking 10.
Nah, he really pulled up to high schools. Really,
you feel what I'm saying? Like his fan base, like it was somebody that did a show that booked him, and Chance, I think it's like Indiana. He sold like 6,000 tickets in like minutes. So you can't compare yourself to, you know what I mean? At the time.
Yeah. So I feel like
but it's all love for CDot. It's all love.
Oh no, yeah.
That's my dog. He funny in the motherfucker.
For sure.
Funny in the motherfucker.
For sure.
And he's smart in the motherfucker. He's smoking. He's smart as hell. Yeah. I don't smoke. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes I like they be smoking. They be a little slow, moving a little slow. Like no, he's sharp in the motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. He be in his mind a lot. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing with bro. But he can call me right now. He can call me right now, and I'll leave. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. But that's good that you just able to manage people. Y'all go through what y'all go through, but y'all still able to just be at least cordial at the very least.
Yeah, but that's on me though. Yeah. That's one thing I can say about that's on me, because if some of these motherfuckers met, some of these like I use my homies as an example a lot of times. Like I'm like, if bro was in this position with this artist, he would not allow that to happen. Yeah. But I love this shit too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit that you did to me that I allowed you to do, my brother would probably try to knock your shit off of that. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's just what it is. The shit that I allowed you to say, cuz would have had you in his trunk for that. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I got
like, you having a good heart, you done been through a lot.
Yes, but it's not for everybody. Trust me, it's not for everybody. Having a good heart, man, it's almost like you got to do triple the work for real. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and cause they don't see it. It ain't like no artist like, man, you got a good heart. Like, let me do this for you. You know what I mean?
How do you? Because I see this a lot on social media. Like, this would be an artist that he's starting off. He got like 2 music videos on YouTube. He probably got like 3,000 views, 5,000 views, maybe even 10, 20K. Yeah. And then they be like, they just make a post like, I need management. Like,
you don't need management.
Yes.
You don't need management.
What does it even take to even need management? Like, what does an artist have to do before they even can consider wanting to manage?
It got to be something to manage. Simple as that. It got to be something. It got to be something to manage. Yeah. You got 20,000 views. There's nothing to manage. You see what I'm saying? Like, if it's not like, for example, this is what I always tell artists. I'm gonna break it down like this, and I know the artists that's watching this, y'all gonna get it like this. Like, if you know, let's just say you make 20,000 in the street. You're a trapper, you're a pimp, you hustle, you scam. It don't matter what you do. If you make $0 from music, you're not in position to need no manager. It's just the reality of it. Because let's just say somebody like me, I require 15%, 25%, whatever. Let's just say 5%. If you don't make no money, that's how I get paid, music. I don't get paid off of if you busting PPP loans or not.
Exactly.
I don't get paid off of if you hustling or not on the side.
Right.
I don't get paid from your construction job. So if I want 10% of your gross income, music, and you don't make no money from income from music, how you gonna pay me? How am I going to get my 10%?
Exactly.
Am I supposed to get my 10% of your construction job? You know that don't sound right. Y'all know that don't sound right. So if you're in that position and you was asking yourself that, like, yeah, if you're not making no money from music, none, merch, shows, streams, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, then you just not in a position to need no manager. But keep going. You know what I mean? Keep going, because we'll find you. I know I'll find you.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me this. I ain't gonna say no names, but I heard about you turning down the opportunity to manage NBA YoungBoy.
Man, who told you that?
Man, I got a source. I got a source, but is there any truth to it?
Yeah, but yeah and no. Like it wasn't necessarily no like I turned it down. You know, I definitely had Montana at the time and we was doing what we was doing. So the loyalty was there. But I did reach out to YoungBoy and we was talking and doing this, that, and the third, and it was like, you know, when I would try to set certain things up for him, he was young. It was just 2016. It's like he had not, you know what I mean, like listen for real. So over time, I don't know, probably a month, I'd just be like, man, this shit not worth it. You know what I mean? Like he not listening for real, and you know that's just what it is. And I got the proof for everybody that might be like, ain't no way that nigga ain't had no look. You know what I'm saying?
We might put a few DMs in this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In case y'all want to see, man.
Yeah.
In case you got to, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, we're making sure. We'll make sure it's gonna be on the screen. It's gonna be on the screen.
You know. So,
yeah.
You know,
wow.
But yeah, that's crazy.
That's the real young boy. Like he was a kid. Like,
he was a kid. 2016. He said he DM'd me. Let me see what it say. Let me see exactly what it say. The very first message. July 26, 2016 at 8:20 a.m.
Wow.
What did it say? Read it for him. From him to me.
Yeah, you say, you trying to manage me?
What'd I say?
Let's talk more.
I say, what's your number?
Let's talk more. What's your number? Gave him your number.
And then, you know, I said, yeah, I'm sure we can work something out. And what did he say?
He said, bet, give me a little minute.
And, you know, we chopped it up and, you know, it's just what it is.
For sure.
You know, it's still there in the DMs.
Yup.
Just to see though, on some troll shit, like I commented on a story that he put out like before he went to jail and shit, and he read it and shit. So like,
for sure, he know people don't forget.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly.
Nah,
so it is what it is.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sure. So on this journey, bro, like, have you been on any tours?
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah. So what's like one of your most memorable tours?
Man, I did a lot, really. You know what I mean? It ain't really, they all really kind of like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what was the most memorable one, but, excuse me, I can't even remember which tour it was, but it had to be on tour with Montana 300 when we just was in New York. You know what I mean? We spent a lot of time in New York. We was meeting with labels, you know, we was getting flew out to LA. You know what I mean? We was meeting celebrities and, you know, things like that. So, you know, we was on a press run. This is 50 Cent was there. You know what I mean? Just little shit like that. Meeting Kanye West, all that. So, it'll probably have to be on, like, one of those tours.
Okay, hold on. So, we got to rewind. So, that sounds like one of your best tour moments right there. So, how was it meeting people like, you know, like Ye?
Crazy, man. That shit was crazy meeting Kanye. Like, right now, he got some other shit going on. Yeah. Don't tweet me. Don't tweet me, Ye.
He coming.
But at the time, it was like one thing that he told me that kind of stood out to me was basically on the lines of like, if you ever seen me in a spotlight acting a certain way, just know I was triggered. I'm like, damn. So he'll say like, TMZ captured me taking dude camera and breaking his camera.
Yeah,
that's what. But they didn't show you. They didn't show you how he threw a water bottle at my wife's head to get that reaction out of me, to get our attention. We were just eating, walking out the restaurant, going to the car, TMZ, throw some water on my wife. Now I react like this. They only got me reacting like this. Once he told me that, I'm like, yeah, this shit's scary.
Because they looking at him like he just like,
he just you know what I'm saying? So, you know, but yeah, I done met everybody, man. I done met Kim Kardashian, I done met James Harden, I done met Russell Simmons, I done met with every label you can think of. I done met 50 Cent. I done met Fetty Wap.
Wow.
I'm talking about at their peak though. Like I done met Cardi B. We did shows with Cardi B. Tink. Got everybody from Chicago, you know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
You know, like man, yeah, I done did it
for sure. So yeah, like so you as the manager, when like you in the rooms when you meeting these people, like what's your role, or is it you know you just
I basically you know I read the room first, you know what I mean, and then I do the talking because I'm going into these rooms already knowing what my artists where they head at. So it's like I can speak on their behalf now. You know what I mean? Like I know that you want to sign. I know that you don't want to sign. I know that if you would be open to doing some business like this, like you'll be looking for this type of deal with these type of terms, with this amount of money. Like I'm already knowing that.
You know the terminology. You making sure the numbers
right. For sure.
Okay, yeah.
For sure.
Right.
I know this. Yeah.
Right. So you taking that out the artist's hands. Like you not.
Yeah.
They don't even have to really.
No, don't worry about that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and I just know what they want their deal to look like as far as like the label goes.
Right.
Every artist that I've been on tour with, I know what they want their tour to look like, what they want their venues to look like, what they want their green rooms to look like. You know what I mean? What they want their bag to look like. You know what I mean? What they want their hotels to look like. You know what I mean? So you know, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I do my management shit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
So like right now, who is currently like your roster as far as like who are you managing?
Right now I got Montana 300. You know, and
for sure. So that's like y'all pretty much like y'all. As soon as when y'all locked in, y'all really locked it in. Like it's that's family. That's family.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of up and coming artists. You know what I mean? You got Taraya, you got TNF Breeze, you got Angel, you got 17 Cartier, you got Ashley Christina, you got it's a lot of upcoming artists, man.
Sure.
You know, that.
And this is like artist development, or like are you managing?
Yeah, these are like artist developments.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like you know, out of all the names that I named, you know, I'm probably gonna say TNFD Breeze is the furthest, but that's because he's a business mind as well,
right?
And he's a talent. He can rap, he can sing.
Because he really giving you something to work with.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He can rap, he can sing, he do business on his own. You know what I mean? And you know, and he dope. So you know, yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? And then I do a lot of little side management gigs, you know, for other bigger artists that I don't care to have my name on it, or they don't care to put my name on it. But as long as I'm making the money from it.
Right. So that's the end result. That's
that's it. So yeah, I do that. I do those as well. So I do got other talents that's, you know, as big as a Montana and bigger. Just at this current moment, you know what I mean? That, you know, I am breaking bread with for sure.
For sure. So like, what's like your end goal? Like where do you see yourself within like even like the next 5 years?
I want to have a team of hungry ass managers, you know, working alongside of me, where I can kind of just chill and just kind of do like the bigger shit. You know what I mean? And just put them out there with the artists. You know what I mean? Like I might have an artist from Atlanta, 2 artists from Chicago. This artist from over here, this artist from over there, and you know they just out there doing the management shit. But I'm doing the bigger shit. I'm doing the bigger shit. Like I'm, you know, getting them the deals with the, like I said, Live Nations, some endorsement deals, getting them in some TV, some movie roles, and you know what I mean. Like I'm just handling that. That's my end goal for real. You know what I mean? And that's just that.
Most definitely, that's what's
up. Build a studio. You know what I mean? Like let the artists come record for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In-house. You know what I mean? Like, you know, have like a marketing team in there. You know what I mean? Have, you know, a couple spaces for like podcasts and videographers and just really just keep it all in-house for real.
Yeah. Nothing like in-house.
Yeah, that's
nothing like in-house.
These niggas be weird outside the house. They be weird. You got niggas be not wanting to answer and text. It should be weird, man.
Wrap it up, bro. I appreciate you coming through, bro.
For sure, man.
Most definitely, bro.
That's love, bro.
For sure. We signing out.
Yeah, for sure.